Y'all ever have God punch you in the face? Okay, not physically, obviously, but like spiritually, when he like hits you with that left hook and reminds you of what you're supposed to be doing. Okay, so for today's challenge, I was in Isaiah 62, and verses 6 and 7 really stuck out to me. And it says, "On your walls, O Jerusalem, I have appointed watchmen all day and all night. They will never keep silent. You who, you who remind the Lord, take no rest for yourselves, and give him no rest until he establishes and makes Jerusalem a praise in the earth." So Isaiah is a prophet, one of the major prophets in the Bible, and he is speaking to Israel before the exile. So they have not, well, the exile starts slowly during his life, but basically he's speaking to them before the exile, but he's already predicting the restoration that God is going to give them. So he is speaking to them. However, the reason this stuck out to me is because one of the first things God ever told me to do was to join intercessory prayer. Intercessory prayer is when you pray on behalf of others with people in your church or your group or whatever it may be. I went through a little season where I stopped doing that through some other issues that me and the Lord are still working on. But this just reminds me that God is not going to let up, and that we have a job as the full body of Christ. We all have this job to be praying for each other. So it says on your walls, which is the barrier, right? The protection for each city. So before that, the outside world could get to the people, right? It's the protection, the stopping point. So on that place, O Jerusalem, I have appointed watchmen, and this is God, and He's saying that He's placed people who are going to be able to see what's coming, who are up high. They have the vantage point to see what is coming to come into the people. And it says, all day and all night, they will never keep silent. So we're supposed to be up there, well, not physically up there, but as the body of Christ, especially those of us who love prayer and are called as intercessors, or are called to pray, for each other, we should be up there all day and all night, always keeping watch for the things that are coming against our brothers and sisters. He says, you who remind the Lord, take no rest for yourselves. So we can continue to pray to God for these issues that I know they get tiring to pray for sometimes, right? You've been praying for weeks, months, years, decades. I understand. But he says, take no rest for yourselves. And then it says, give him no rest. So give God no rest. We need to keep banging on the doors of heaven, right? We need to keep pulling on God's ear for these situations that we want to see his will come through. We want to see him move on. He's not going to get tired of us praying about the same thing. We can keep going to him no matter how repetitive it gets, and we can't lose heart in that process, because we also have to trust that he's going to do what he's going to do in his perfect timing. But we need to keep knocking on the door. And he says, and make Jerusalem, until he establishes and makes Jerusalem a praise in the earth. Until his kingdom comes, until Christ returns, we need to be banging on the doors of heaven, interceding for our brothers and sisters, praying and not growing weary in that process. He has set us here for this very reason, so that we can watch out for each other, that we can protect each other, especially when others are weaker in the faith or not as strong, right? And those of us who have a firmer foundation, or we're on solid rock, we need to be the ones that are hitting the front lines, so to speak, and not leaving our brothers and sisters vulnerable. So this was great. I'm really enjoying the study with True Christian Ministry. If you haven't joined yet, I'll put the information in the caption.